Hello, is anybody out there? It says I'm live, and that's a good thing. Um, Second, let me get something to drink. I hope everyone's having a really good weekend. Um, I came on because, quite honestly, I haven't been home for the last 24 hours. I was in the hospital. Whoopee me, right? How am I feeling, my dearest Carl? I'm here. I'm feeling better than I was, so that's a good thing. Um, Here's what happened. I'm on 3 different diets. One is the diabetic diet. That's obviously away from sugar. The next is the committed diet. So I have to watch the types of vegetables that I eat. That I don't thin my blood out too much or thicken it too much. Right now it's too thin. Normally your committed level should be at a 2. Mine's at a 4 right now. So uh, there. I drew blood and had a little trouble, and I've got that bruise already, and I'll have plenty more on the back of my hand. It's already starting to show up. They didn't have trouble getting blood, but they marked me up pretty well. So those 2 diets I'm doing real well on. The diet I had trouble with and put me in the hospital is the no salt diet for cardiac patients. It's where you don't have any salt in your diet, which I can do, um, with the exception of popcorn. That's really the only thing that I have to have salt with. Um, I'm okay. But what I've done is I went a little overboard. I guess you'd say I got a little cocky. And I love red beet pickled eggs. They're like my kryptonite or whatever. I see them, I have to have them. I love red beets. I eat them often, and it's almost always pickled. And well, what I did is I went to bed, woke up 50 pounds heavier. I had socked on a lot of water. It wasn't that fast. It was in about 48 hours that I socked on that much water. Um, and it's not good. I went to the doctors to get um, refills for my prescription and to find out what the heck's going on because I was feeling so poorly and I didn't get to go home. I parked my vehicle in valet parking, went to the ER. Since my doctor's on the campus of um, the hospital, and they immediately go, "Oh yeah," uh, started an IV, and I got liquid Lasix treatment immediately. If you've never had liquid Lasix, but you know what a diuretic does, that's what liquid Lasix does, times 20. Um, Long story short, I was in the hospital overnight. I got out just after lunch, and I lost approximately 30 pounds of water, and the docs felt comfortable sending me home. They said, you can sit here and get rid of water for the next 3 days, but you're looking well, you're breathing on room air. I was filling up with so much water. I was bubbly. Um, so we got that taken care of. We have a plan of action um, in case I start feeling that way again. And I just can't mess up on that diet. I had a doctor growing up. Um, Same was Dr. Kraus. And he told my folks when I was young that I needed to ease off of salt. Originally, he said it was for my blood pressure. And I'm talking junior high, young. So I did. I was more um, apt on that than my parents really on salt. My mom hates when I cook anything because I don't use salt. Um, it's just I don't think about the other foods. Like if I don't feel like cooking the salt that's in, a microwave meal or a frozen meal, I don't think about the salt there. Well, that's part of the things that'll get me now. So basically, I have to be choosy on my vegetables that I eat, and the meat that I eat is the protein that I eat. It's got to be clean protein. It can't be deli meat. It can't be um, preserved meat like ham or bacon, which there goes two food groups. It has to be a clean protein cooked at home. Going out to eat will not help me. I can have all the proteins and everything I wanted, going out to eat. It's just, if I had the money, haven't had the money in a long time. I can still have those things. It's just I have to cook them at home and I have to cook them with 0 salt. Um, so that's my update. I'm home. I'm feeling better. Um, I got a chance to speak to a lot more cardiologists in my cardiologist practice. Um, a lot of good men and women, so that was nice. Yeah, Carl, no salt sucks. I haven't cooked with it for years, so when I get it, that's what screws me up. So anyhow, that's what's going. If anybody listens to this at all after it posts, because we only have 2 people watching now, is I wanted to talk about Syria. And a lot of people were upset about us bombing Syria. My big thing is I've got a pretty good memory. I am so freaking impressed that it was a joint action and that France was part of it. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but back in the days of Gaddafi, he did the same stupid thing when 43 George Walker Bush was president. He did the same thing when 43 was president. 43 and the Prime Minister of the UK wanted to do the same thing after Gaddafi basically dirty bombed his own population. But they had a hard time doing it. Why? Because France wouldn't let us use their airspace to travel there. So we had to go up and around in the hard way because France wouldn't let us use their airspace. Now this happened, and France not only allowed us to use their airspace, they jumped on board. So it looks like there's been a little growing up to do, or that's been done. Now, how do I feel about going in and shaking the trees in Syria? My personal opinion is that they did a good job. We still, as of right now, I've been looking and haven't found any. There were no civilian casualties. That's what we were aiming for. With over 100 munitions set off from 3 different countries, we actually pulled together and did a fairly surgical strike. Why would we do this? Why would we do this for anything? The UN should have been all over it. Talk about atrocities to your own people. Chemical weapons on your own soil against your own people that were doing nothing but living and taking care of that country. Now, back when 43 was president, after we went and bombed, Gaddafi was all kinds of upset and they started fighting back. Well, the best they could. Our people that were over there because we sent teams in. And believe you me, we've got teams sent in now. It started like a war. Well, that didn't start like a war. It started a war within their own lands. They've been abused enough. They finally had people on their side who actually came in after, Gaddafi did his thing and stood up for them. I mean, we did not have an easy road to hoe. Going around France is a little difficult over there. The airspace is nice. So when this happened during the last Bush administration, there was a lot of ramifications. And there was some problems with Hillary Clinton at the time. There was all kinds of stuff going on that are still being investigated. But in my heart of hearts, I agree with what our administration and the UK and France finally, because we needed their airspace, became involved with to help the poor people of Syria. Because that's crazy. Nobody in any country, I don't care if you're third world, deserves to have chemical warfare dumped on them by their government or anything else. That shows you how backward this country is. Why would you even do this? Were they doing anything to you? Were they on your front steps trying to get you out of office? No. So don't be a fool. And don't be surprised when something like this happens. Now, the last time also, if I remember correctly, Russia was on our side. Right now we got Putin in office. And we don't know what the heck his thought concept is. I'm not entirely sure that he was legally elected under anybody's thought process. But he was elected, and he's a little upset that we did this to this country that they back, but we tried to stay away from Russian casualties as well, unless they were working in these plants, and those were military targets. So that's my opinion on Syria. Take it or leave it, it is what it is. The last thing I wanted to cover is there's a channel out there my buddy Chris runs, and I've just been laughing my tail off watching his um, recent show entitled Chicken Farts. It started out with he went to collect chicken eggs and ended up getting a very tiny, it looked like copper, copper Moran egg, a very small egg. Didn't look like it was much bigger than the first digit of my thumb. And then he had a regular white egg that was twice the size of it. So he called the little copper Moran egg a chicken fart. And you should go back, it's kind of funny. It's more of a, yeah, he didn't say he had any bindings. It looked like a copper Moran, just small, Carl. Um, and I remember seeing he had any bandies running around his yard. It's just seriously a small egg that surprised the heck out of him. So anyhow, it digressed into going into hangouts and everybody just kind of jumping on and talking back and forth and hearing each other's voices for the first time. True, Carl. Small egg, small chicken. Um, so anyhow, I really enjoyed listening to these people hearing each other's voices for the first time. I don't know who these people are. I've watched Grizz off and on because, it's Grizz. Um, and he's hilarious. He has a lot of good information. He's picked some stuff up from Harbor Freight and made it work for him. Um, and he bought a sawmill and he's making a forks for his equipment right now because he needs it. And he's a homesteader with mountain man type sensibility. And I'm thinking mountain man like Duck Dynasty. They've got a guy on there whose name is Mountain Man, and he has a strong accent, and he talks really slow, and he goes an awful lot, and but he just gives me warm fuzzies when I watch him on the Duck Dynasty show, and that's the way Grizz is. Although Grizz has a really salty and quick wit, which is awesome. We have an issue though, because he prefers to pick on cats, and I have two in my family. So, I kind of live with it. So, anyhow, um, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about was give Grizz a shout out. Um, that live show degraded rather quickly, but I loved it. It was funny as heck. I haven't watched it all. It's actually paused on my computer or on my television um, because I wanted to make this online real quick before I lost the light from outside and got too tired. Which I'm starting to get tired. But I have to go get my daughter here shortly. I won't let her walk home in the dark. So, anyhow, that's about it. If you guys can think of anything you'd like to talk about, leave the comments below. There's a link there if you'd like to help me out in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I just spent the day and night in the hospital. Um, and I've got a lot of things to take care of. Fortunately, I have medical insurance now, which changed everything at the hospital. Um, and I'll be going to get my meds in the morning because I don't want to go without my daughter. Just because I was in the hospital, I'd rather have somebody with me while I go do errands. And she had to go to Kroger. So you guys be well, love each other. If you're close to your family, give them a big old hug and tell them you love them. And also, please remember, you gotta keep smiling. Bye, y'all. God bless.